Your heart races. Your throat tightens. Someone just casually mocked you or undermined you in front of a group, and every nerve in your body is screaming at you to fight back and prove them wrong. We are taught that defending yourself verbally is a necessity, that if you don't strike back, you are effectively surrendering to a display of strength. The 19th century philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche recognized a different reality. He saw that the person who talks too much, or the one who desperately needs to convince others of their worth, has already handed over their leverage. He traced this behavior back to what he called herd morality. This is the drive of a fragile ego that lives entirely for the approval of others, constantly feeling the need to justify its position the moment it's questioned. We have to distinguish this from the cowardice of just swallowing your anger. The strategy here is not passive. It is a tense, calculated silence used as a deliberate tool of authority. When you enter a verbal argument to defend yourself, you are playing by their rules. True strength comes from removing the need to participate in the conflict at all. Step 1 is the hard stop. The instant an insult lands, you must consciously lock down your physical reflex to respond. This means no justification, no explanations, and no attempts to defend your character. They expect you to take the path on the left, letting your ego drive you into a flustered, defensive reaction. Instead, you are going to take the path on the right, absorbing the impact calmly and returning to a completely neutral state. Do not spend this silence trying to formulate a clever comeback in your head. That desire is just your ego trying to regain approval, and it will only distract you. By killing the urge to speak, you immediately prove that you owe the other person nothing. You strip away their power by refusing to acknowledge their words require any effort from you. Step 2 is surgical observation. Pivot your internal focus away from the sensation of being attacked and instead become a clinical examiner, studying the person who just spoke. While they wait for you to react, look for the hidden fears and insecurities that they have disguised as arrogance. Use this moment to see them clearly. Your physical posture must communicate this focus. Maintain direct, steady eye contact. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your facial expression entirely neutral. If you look down, break eye contact, or shrink back, you signal submission. You must remain physically unbothered to keep the pressure on them. This mental shift lowers your own heart rate. It changes the dynamic of the encounter, turning you from a victim being judged into an observer performing a quiet evaluation. Step 3 is mastering time. Hold your silence and your unbothered gaze well past the point of normal social comfort. When you refuse to react, the other person loses control of the narrative. This loss of control triggers a biological state of alarm in their brain's amygdala. Without a response to latch onto, they are met with a void. As the silence stretches, that void fills with fear and paranoia. They begin to wonder if their bluff has been called, or if your silence means you are currently judging their incompetence. Avoid fidgeting or nervous laughter. These micro-movements release tension and give the aggressor a way out. You must remain a perfectly still, silent mirror. Silence is an invisible blade. It forces the other person to confront their own empty arguments without you having to say a single word. This leads to step 4, the inversion. Continue the silence until the tension becomes so heavy that the other person is forced to break it themselves just to escape the pressure. This is where they typically begin to stutter, backpedal, or claim it was a joke. They are now desperately trying to fix the social void you created. This mastery over your own environment reflects Nietzsche's ideal of the overman, a figure who refuses to let external pressures dictate his internal state. By holding your silence, you stop reacting to their values and start imposing your own atmosphere onto the room. The logic of the interaction has flipped. You have become the gravitational center of the room, and the person who tried to undermine you is now the one reacting to you. Through total unpredictability, you have neutralized an attack and exerted dominance without expending any verbal energy. You have forced an opponent to face their own insecurities by simply becoming an absolute mirror to their disrespect. This silence is an invisible shout of authority. You owe no one an explanation, and your presence alone is enough to command a room. If you are ready to embody this strength and stop letting insults control your state of mind, affirm that choice right now. Scroll down and comment, "I choose the silence that commands respect." Make this commitment to yourself, and then continue with the next video to further build your mental dominance.